Well, it's been a bit of a journey to get here, all the way from Australia to Vietnam. I'm up here in the northwest part of the country. This is the town of Sapa. I'm going to go out, check out some villages, see some traditional ways of doing things, and yeah, just have some fun with it. Thanks for joining me. Let's get into it. Sapa's a sleepy little town, at least in the morning. Once the tourists get up, it gets quite busy, quite noisy. You'll see the local hill tribe people coming into the town, selling off their handmade products. And the closest village to the town is only about a half an hour walk. It's a bit of a steep walk. Yeah, it's definitely a tourist mecca, this first village. And you'll see store after store renting costumes for the tourists to wear. And just, yeah, hundreds and hundreds of tourists coming here. This is early morning. In the middle of the day it gets even worse. But if you look beyond all that, you'll start to see some of the traditional things that I came here to try to observe. These smokers that are all through the village, they're smoking buffalo and beef meat. It's yeah, it was really interesting to see it. And the construction method of it was much the same as I've used on my shelters in the past. Back to the tourist centre, there's this giant wheel. It's no longer in practical use, it's just a tourist draw card now, but in days gone by it would have been used to take the husk off the rice. The hammer's no longer working, which is a shame, because it would have been nice to see it in full action. These kids were a trip. Just a simple bamboo stilts. Something that you imagine kids could use, but look at this guy. This is a way to get across the river without getting your pants wet. Yeah, pretty cool. Really simply made too, so it was just watching these kids move around with ease across these rivers. Yeah, it was great. A few more local kids here fishing. Just a simple pole with a cord tied to the end of it. They're collecting the bait just from under the rocks in the area, just little nymphs and things that are natural in the area that the fish would be feeding on. And yeah, it was pretty cool. So early the next morning, to escape the tourists, got a guide, went to a different village. Now the three main crops of the hill tribe people are rice, corn and hemp. That sustains them, feeds their animals and makes their clothing. And the life journey of the hemp is just, yeah, pretty cool. So here it is growing in amongst corn, and then it's harvested and taken down to the town, and yeah, these are the stalks of it. So imagine how many plants made that up. After being processed, it's broken down into the fibres, and these are woven together, as my guide is here showing. The way they twist them together is different than what I would have done. So they split them and put it through the split and then do the reverse twist to join it. Once they've got a huge amount of this, it goes through a loom. This loom here is well over 100 years old, and it's just in a woman's front of her house, just in the front of a woman's house. So once the fabric is made, it goes into a bath of indigo. So this is locally grown. They process it up, crush it up, put it in cold water to extract the dye out of it, and they'll repeatedly dye it and dry it, depending on how dark they want the fabric to be. Just a fascinating process. On this particular day it was raining, so they had to just leave it hanging inside. Oh, I saw this. This is a cool little ladder, just out of a single trunk with the steps cut into it. Yeah, I found it pretty fascinating. The water hammers are really cool. They use them to separate the husk off the rice, or remove the husk from the rice. And yeah, it'll take them a couple of hours to get enough for a meal. But yeah, really cool. Great bit of engineering, and yeah, just fascinating to sit and watch it and listen to it clack it away in the background. This here is corn. So they put the corn in the top. These stones come from high up in the mountain, and they're ground up into the fine powder that they can use for cooking. I always do the things I do for myself, and then I record it for you guys. So with this trip, it was more about me experiencing this and learning some things rather than sharing it with you guys as much. So I didn't film everything, but I'm hoping you liked the things that I did film, and yeah, enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video. See yous.